Hey guys, it's Mick here, and today I'm going to show you, I finally got my air horns installed on my truck. So I was going to show you guys how I did that. So anyway, what it is I got a hold of some salvaged air horns and pump and stuff from a crashed ambulance, and that's what I'm using. So I had to buy some parts and stuff, but show you what I got here. What I decided to do is I actually installed everything in my toolbox back here in the back of my truck. Just because I don't really put a whole lot of stuff in my toolbox, and I figured that way it would keep the stuff out of the weather. But there's my tank. It's a 5-gallon tank. It's got the 4 big ports across the front, and then I got 3 little ports across the back here. And how I got this set up is this is my incoming line. That's the pump switch. So when the tank's full, it triggers the pump to kick off and on, that sort of thing. And then I added an adapter there so I can hook an air line up to it, and I bought a cheap tire inflator to throw in there just in case I ever have a low tire or flat tire or something. At least I might be able to limp it along a little bit longer. And then this is the line that goes out to my air horns, and then the rest of the ports, they're just capped off because I'm not using them. And then I put my pump in a battery box. The pump I got is not a weather-resistant pump, so that's another reason that I went ahead and put it in my toolbox. And I put it in a battery box just to protect it a little bit more and to keep the stuff from my toolbox from kind of getting up against it and this, that, and the other thing. So again, there's my line going out to my air tank, and then my power wires and the wire that goes over to the pump control in the tank. So one thing I'm still lacking, I need to get me a filter. I haven't bought a filter yet. And then from there, my airline power wires go out back here, and that's my actuator for my air tank. And I was able to mount that through the toolbox, so I don't have the airline going through the toolbox. I got this brass fitting that goes through, and it's nice and secure in there, and I liked how that worked out. And then from there, I just came, if you can see through all the trash, it's under here. I don't know if you'll be able to or not, but back there, that's where that fitting comes out, and my wires and that. And then there was a place, I got a Ford F250, there's a rubber cap there that I just put a little slice in and run my power wires and my air hose through there. And then here, on the inside of my cab, what I did is I ran the power wire to my #1 auxiliary switch here, because I wasn't using it for anything. And the reason I did that was because instead of trying to find a power wire that worked off the ignition, because I didn't want my pump kicking on whenever I wasn't using my truck, and if it dropped in pressure, I wanted it to be where it was only running when the key was in the on position. So just to make things easy, I just ran it to the switch. So when I turn my ignition on, that's when that comes on, and then the pump comes on. So when the truck's off, the pump's not running. So, and then for whatever reason, get rid of that. For whatever reason, if I need to turn it off, I can just flip the switch off and shut the whole system down. And then I just put a push button, air horn button right there. I just mounted it right through my dash. And that goes, the wires of that go back to that actuator. And then as you can hear, pump's running in there. It's not very loud at all, especially with this diesel truck. When it's running, you can't even hardly hear it at all. And I can't hear it at all in the cab, which is really nice. And then my air horns, I put down on my frame, and let me climb under here. Okay, so my air horns, I mounted, I told you wrong there, not on the frame, but right on the outside of the body of my truck here, or the inside, I guess you'd call it. And I wanted to do it to where the front of the horn was up against the back of that wheel cowl, just to protect from crap and stuff getting in the horn. And I got them also so it's hard to tell with the way I'm laying, but the back of the horn is a little bit higher than the front of the horn, just so stuff, if it gets any moisture or anything in it, it should come out. But I'm hoping, my theory was that would protect from getting a bunch of junk in the horns, because I didn't want them facing backwards like a lot of people do. I wanted to face them forward. I don't know that it really makes that big a difference, but I got one on this side and I got one on the other side, and they're just tied together with a T airline. So I had to, I didn't want to spend the 30 bucks or whatever they wanted for the bracket that is actually designed for, or made for these air horns. So I made one myself with some, with a U-bolt and a couple pieces of metal, and it works just fine. So, and then up here I was able to just use the holes that were already in the body here, where I ran that line in and it plugs in underneath here, and the only holes that I had to put in my body was just for the mounting hardware. So that was kind of nice. And last but not least, I'm sure everybody wants to hear it if you're watching this video. I mean, why else would you watch it? So they're not too bad. I'm pretty happy with them. So it definitely gets everybody's attention, which is the point of it, right? So anyway, I like it. My system's totally hidden. Nobody knows that I have it unless I blow the air horns at them, or if you know, my friends on that know I put it in. So it's pretty good if you want to drive around and scare somebody or scare a dog or something. It's pretty good for that. So anyway, that's it on my air horn system in my truck. If you got any questions that I didn't answer in this video or something, just post it down there in the comments, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.